Okay, Chaos Crew, picture this. It's late at night, the kind of late where everything feels louder and more overwhelming than it should. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, staring at a blank sheet of paper, and not just one sheet, 10 of them, spread out in front of me like they're daring me to touch them, like they have teeth, like they are fully prepared to absolutely maul me if I make one wrong move. And honestly, in that moment, I genuinely considered just walking away and pretending the whole thing didn't exist. Because here's the thing about step four: made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. It sounds like someone assigned you the most terrifying assignment of your entire life. And the subject is you. Every messy, uncomfortable, complicated version of you. And the grade, well, it's kind of for your emotional freedom, so no pressure at all. Welcome back to Clear Headed Chaos, the space where we get real about recovery, emotional sobriety, and figuring out how to actually function like a human being without completely losing our minds. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, hey, pull up a chair, grab your drink of choice, and know that this is a judgment free zone. We celebrate the wins, we laugh at the disasters, and we get honest about the stuff that's hard to say out loud. Last time we talked about what emotional sobriety actually means. And spoiler, it's not about becoming some Zen robot who never feels anything. It's about learning to handle your feelings instead of letting your feelings handle you. Today we're going deeper. Today we're talking about how step four cracked me open in the best possible way, and why doing that terrifying inventory actually became one of the most freeing things I have ever done for my emotional health. So let's start with the basics, because I think a lot of people hear step four and immediately shut down. The language alone can feel intimidating. Searching, fearless, moral, inventory. It sounds like a legal deposition or some kind of spiritual audit where someone is about to tell you everything wrong with you. But here's what it actually is at its core: it's a brain dump. A massive, brutally honest, no sugarcoating, all cards on the table brain dump where you write down your resentments, your fears, the harm you've caused, and most importantly, the patterns underneath all of it. The stuff you keep doing over and over again without fully understanding why. That's where the real work lives. Now, let me tell you about my first attempt, because it is genuinely one of my favorite stories to tell, mostly because of how spectacularly wrong I got it. I sat down with my paper. I thought I was being honest. I was feeling brave. And I wrote basically 3 words in different arrangements for about an hour. Everyone is wrong. I am the victim. They did this. They caused that. I even had a little internal monologue going where I was already congratulating myself on my incredible self awareness. And then my sponsor asked me the question that changed everything. She looked at what I'd written, nodded slowly, and said, "So, what was your part in it?" And I want to be transparent with you right now. My immediate internal reaction was so childish. I stuck my tongue out like a 5-year old. The point is, that question cracked something open that I had been keeping very tightly shut. Let me walk you through a real example, because I think this is where it gets practical and powerful. One of my biggest resentments was my family. I had pages written about how they judged me, how they never really saw me, how every gathering felt like walking into a room where everyone already had an opinion about who I was before I even opened my mouth. And I believed all of it. I wasn't even wrong about some of it. But then came the magic question again: what was your part? And when I actually sat with that, honestly, I mean, really sat with it, I started seeing things I hadn't wanted to look at. I was people pleasing constantly. I was hiding my real thoughts and real feelings because I was terrified of conflict. I was letting things build and build and build until finally everything exploded in the worst possible way at the worst possible moment. I wasn't just a passive participant in my own resentment story. I was actively handing over my peace every single time I chose silence over honesty. And the moment I truly understood that, the resentment started losing its grip. Not because they were suddenly perfect or because what hurt me didn't matter, but because I realized they weren't controlling me. I had been giving away my own power and blaming them for taking it. That realization was the beginning of my emotional sobriety in a real and tangible way. Because once you stop outsourcing responsibility for your inner world, everything shifts. I stopped blaming other people for the chaos I was carrying. I started seeing patterns I had been completely blind to. Fear of rejection showing up as anger, anxiety disguising itself as control, old wounds making brand new messes. And maybe most importantly, I started forgiving myself, not in a sloppy, nothing matters kind of way, in a genuine, I see you and you were doing the best you could kind of way. And that self forgiveness, that's what stopped the daily beat down I was giving myself inside my own head. And if you want to try this yourself, here's the simple version. Grab paper or your phone, set up 4 columns: the person or situation, what happened, how it affected you, and your part in it. Be fearless, but be kind. You're not here to destroy yourself. You're here to understand yourself. Write it all out and know that the release is genuinely in the writing itself. What you do with it after, burn it, keep it, share it with someone you trust, that part is yours to decide. Step 4 isn't punishment, it is spring cleaning for your entire soul. After mine, I felt lighter in a way I genuinely didn't expect. Like I had been carrying a suitcase full of rocks and I finally just set it down on the sidewalk and walked away. Chaos still shows up in my life. Don't worry, the show title isn't going anywhere, but now I can see it more clearly. The inventories never really end, but each one gets easier and the lightness just keeps growing. If you need help getting started with your step 4 inventory, I have a worksheet template ready with all the categories and columns already done for you so that you can jump straight into your inventory work. The link is available in the description below. Next time we're talking about when sobriety just feels boring and what to actually do about it. Subscribe and I'll see you there. Clear heads, wild hearts, always.